Welcome back to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series Europe Premier League round of 16 Group C matches this evening. It has been a massive shock already. MVP, the King of Liberty, is down into the losers game, so we'll have to wait and see whether he goes through. Next up, it's Nerchio versus SaSe. Let's take a quick look at the bracket to show you exactly how this Group C has unravelled right now. As you can see right at the top of your screen, Golden Hero from Spain, Lucifron, is already through to the round of 8 and also will play in the Premier League next season, confirmed. At the bottom, it's SaSe versus Nerchio. These two are in the last chance saloon right now. One of them is about to drop down to Challenger League. One of them is about to get a shot at MVP, and even that's a tall order as well. Which one's it going to be? We're about to find out. Here's your commentary team. It's Kalaris and Apollo.
Thanks very much, Red Eye, as we now move into another... There seems to be something up, Apollo.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah?
Nothing's up.
You
Nothing's... Sure? Nothing. It's fine.
All right. Maybe we can play rock, paper, scissors later. All right, cool stuff. So we now have our next series on the way. One of these players is going to move down to Challenger League. And we've had a lot of 2-0s so far. Could be another 2-0 again.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't think straight anymore. I've just got one thing on my mind.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You'd never guess what it was.
No? Oh, okay. I'll have to check back the VOD and see exactly what happened. But anyway, we have our next map vetoes on the way here. Mr. Nerchio going up against SaSe. An interesting thing about these guys is that they actually played against each other very, very recently at DreamHack, where SaSe was able to take 2-0 off Nerchio. So could go down the same road again here. Yeah,
Nerchio against Protoss. I think if I remember correctly, his stats were a little bit better than it was versus Terran in Heart of the Swarm. So we'll see. But SaSe's pretty good. He's always been good against Zerg. He doesn't necessarily like to be good against them or doesn't like to play against them, but he is as a great micro. He's got great gateway opening builds, but look at the map vetoing so far. Akalon Waste and Neoplanet S from Nerchio, Daybreak and Star Station from SaSe. I love SaSe's vetoes.
Yeah, and just kind of restricting his opponent, making sure that he can try and get out a little bit of an easier third than he would normally like to. But Belshir Vestige was one of those maps that opens up a lot of possibilities. And SaSe has already, again, these guys have already played very recently, and SaSe is one of those players in terms of Protoss metagame right now that is really utilizing things like a recall in this matchup and really forcing his opponents into very, very awkward situations.
Nerchio. Can he do it, Claris? Can he do it?
I don't know, man. I want him to pull it back. I want him to try it, and
he was such a dominating force in Wings of Liberty. I really can't stress that enough. He was absolutely fantastic.
God, he's so aggressive with the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, I think what that is basically just clearing the pathway on the mouse pad. So when you do it, that you basically just make sure it's smooth all the way across.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the way. There's no pieces of dust. I don't know, a bit of dirt or anything. As there's Nerchio, got a haircut just for today.
Yep, likes his haircuts. But again,
wants to look good on camera.
He does. I think that. Again, if you go back to those games from DreamHack where we saw SaSe defeating Nerchio 2-0, Nerchio kind of didn't know what to do. I spoke to it with him about it just before the broadcast, and he was so kind of flustered by the way in which SaSe was playing. He was constantly forcing units out of Nerchio and then just pulling back, and then a second wave comes along and he forces units out again, and then he pulls back with the recall ability. So SaSe, if he plays a similar way, Nerchio's going to have a very, very tough time in dealing with that kind of performance.
SaSe is really, really good when it comes to using that Mothership core. Yeah. Thinking back to his round of 32 match against Slivko, oh boy, was that one-sided. Like, both games were over in an instant, basically. And if he brings that same performance today, Nerchio could be in trouble. But Nerchio, we'll see what he's going to be able to bring up against SaSe for sure.
Yep, we shall see indeed. ZVP, one of these players, will end up falling down to Challenger League to play in just in the lower part of the WCS. But still, they really want to fight on here. Neither player wants to go away just yet. They want the opportunity to go up against MVP and fight for that round of 8 spots.
Hey guys, congratulations on winning this match. Your next opponent is MVP.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it's difficult. This is going to be a difficult road, but if it isn't difficult, then why are you playing in WCS?
Yeah, the round of 16 is absolutely stacked. And we have one of those pretty impressive players spawning up to the top left here as our red Zerg. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Nerchio. First in WCS Poland, 7th in WCS Europe, and did attend the World Championship, but not doing quite as well as the representatives from yesterday.
Yeah.
And spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner here as our blue Protoss. Give it up for Fnatic SaSe. 5th through 6th WCS Sweden. Arguably a bit of a disappointing result for him, but Sweden is kind of stacked.
Very difficult tournament that was, especially because that was a tournament where Sortov just destroyed.
Yeah.
Came out, showed everyone that he was a good player, and then you got Naniwa, Thorzane, the whole crew basically. Sweden's a very strong country when it comes to StarCraft 2, and not just StarCraft 2, other games as well. Nerchio though, Poland, likewise a pretty strong country. Two big names that poke out is Mana and of course Nerchio. Got some others. Paranoid, I think, is Polish too. Yeah, Paranoid is Polish too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he is. Paranoid, Uza, Dystar. In fact, Uza actually just I think Uza is teamless, and he just qualified for Challenger League.
There you go.
So yeah, all right. So Nerchio now heading across the map here with his initial overlords. Gonna try and sneak in that hatchery where he can. No scout here just yet for SaSe. He opens up his gateway expand, as is tradition for him. Yes,
SaSe, funnily enough, when I casted DreamHack, the DreamHack finals just a couple of weeks ago, we saw Naniwa open with the gateway expands, right? A lot.
Mm-hmm.
With the gateway expands that Naniwa used, SaSe actually used a very similar variety of them against Slivko.
Yeah.
Wasn't quite the same, the transition wasn't quite the same, but it was very, very similar. So SaSe is all about this, and throughout the series, I wouldn't be surprised if Nerchio decided to throw in a very early counter build, lots of early speed, lots of early, not lots of, but an early speed build or something to try to stop this sort of build from SaSe. It does actually get blind counted quite well.
And we have Mr. Loranger Chris, aka EG Hook, rooting for SaSe, but again, he was the same as Cass. He didn't include the hashtag WCS. Naughty Hook.
Oh, Chris.
All right, so hatchery's going to finish up in a little bit. Drones heading on down there in a sec as those queens pile on out as well. Nerchio right now, he is fighting against it. He is really up against it, having to go up against some of the strongest Terran foes he's had to face for a long time, and then now meet SaSe here. And again, SaSe already has his number in this regard. He beat him just a few weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, the DreamHack. So.
Yeah, it's the thing is, Nerchio is just fighting for so much relevancy in the scene at this moment. People are going to disregard him as a top European Zerg. They actually won't look at him anymore. He's always was the guy that, yeah, he's going to contend with Stefano. He always is going back and forth with Stefano. But the great micro actually from Nerchio here. That's really nice to see. Pulling those guys back, and then he actually picks off the pylon too. Great.
Oh, wow.
Really nice there by Nerchio. But what I was saying is that if you think about the, way back when, is it was always Nerchio and Stefano, but now there's Vortex, there's other guys as well there, and Nerchio's just dropping off a little bit.
Yeah, he has to kind of step it up, and taking a win here would be a fantastic foothold in terms of stepping it up, as the Forge is going down behind this for SaSe, as well as that Nexus on the way. But again, as you rightly pointed out, that pylon going down for just a few Zerglings. He only lost 3 during that engagement, I believe.
No, it was really nice to be able to pick off that. It's, slows SaSe's build down quite a bit. But we have 10 Zerglings on the way here. This is just to kind of deal with the pressure. And after these 10 Zerglings, he'll immediately just go back to droning, I'd hope, here. And, well, how much is he going to lose? He's got to be careful not to lose his queen here. Time Warp, I think, is available.
Yeah, it will be. I'll have 100 NG in a second here as well, so technically could even recall on out. But these Zealots, they're here to try and do the damage. He wants to get the queen. He will get the queen. And needs to run away, otherwise he's going to lose this to the second queen.
Yeah, I should have recalled.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, but it goes down. Recall.
Did he not have enough energy until the last second? I couldn't quite see the energy.
He had the energy.
Oh, okay, so it was a bit of a mistake, but
it only takes 100, right? Not 125.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah then.
And good force field to prevent the Zerglings from coming in and piling just to fortify that area. He's got to be careful not to lose the Forge, though. This could be a nice night. Only 2 sentries tickling these Zerglings.
He doesn't have that much damage. He would have need to have thrown an extra force field down there to deny some of that damage whilst that was going on, but he walls himself fully in here.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to have to throw down extra force fields to deal with those Zerglings.
All right, so third base has been taken by Nerchio. I wonder what Nerchio's actually going to use. What strategy? Oh, hold that thought, though. Twilight Castle coming down. Oh, well, I wonder if SaSe would go for a big +2 blink play or something along those lines. We'll have to see as he starts to line up his plans. But Nerchio, +1 carapace. Roach Warren, not down yet, I don't think. I think it's going to come down. Oh, there it is. Okay,
well, the thing is that Nerchio, he kind of has to be wary of SaSe selling the idea to him that he's going for some kind of big 2-base play or something like that, and then just, you know, bring that Mothership Core along with it once he gets an... Oh, he already has another one. And then recalls back on home, because Nerchio would then have to pump in a lot of units. He's already getting 16 Zerglings out right now, in fact. But still, he doesn't want to overmake so much.
How much do you know of Nerchio's style against Protoss?
I saw a lot of Zergling Hydralisk stuff and using the Roach Warren as, you know, once again, just the kind of insurance policy against these earlier gateway timings, but not a whole lot. You see a lot of Mutalisks from him as well.
Yeah, he's a massive Mutalist fan, that's for sure. But we do have SaSe moving out with a couple units. No Mothership Core with that. As he is a bit occupied at home here, so land another force field. Good force field landed.
Not too bad at picking up the Forge, though.
This is actually kind of dangerous. 7 Roaches are on the way. The Mothership Core needs to kind of get over there, ideally. I think he's got enough force fields to buy time till the Mothership Core gets there.
That's a lot of gas investment in those sentries, though. He doesn't want to lose them at that very front. These Zerglings are doing quite a bit of work as well, so good job by Nerchio actually getting in there. Killing off 3 workers thus far, but I think going to get killed.
If he just focuses the Zealots on the hatchery and force fields the ramp, I think he could pick off his hatchery. This could be really big. He has to land these force fields, though. 1, 2, 3, good.
That's just going to die. Just going to die. A great move here by SaSe, picking that up.
And can recall if things get hairy here. The Roaches aren't coming for it, so... You know, he doesn't necessarily need to use recall.
This army is quite strong, and he's still making drones. I mean, it's not the strongest of armies, but it certainly has a little bit of space to control the positioning. There's only 10 Roaches out, to be honest.
Yeah, but I think we'll see a lot more being built, because it's 60 drones at the moment. If he builds more drones from this point, he oversaturates bases because his third isn't ready, so he'll have to build Roaches. It'd be a bit risky for him to poke in. No, actually, now I think about it, it probably would be smart for him to go in again and just recall back. But at the end of the day, what is he forcing? Units already out coming, so it's not like he adds anything else.
Not really a whole lot. Clear Constitution going down behind this for Nerchio as well. As that Forge will finish up. That was the one he's just kind of recuperated, though. Oh no, in fact, that's the second Forge, so he will go into double Forge play. I do love double Forge play in this matchup.
Yeah, double Forge play is incredibly important for the later stages, especially once those Ultralists get out. It's good to be able to bring them down fast. It's also good to survive a couple of extra hits, too. But there's the Spire. This is something which, you know, you called it. You're very right saying that Nerchio loves Mutalist play and it has not been scouted yet. So if we look at what SaSe's got to deal with this, Blink was going to be on the way. He needs to scout. Hallucinated Phoenix need to get over there, Observer or anything to figure out this. We saw what happened in yesterday's games.
Yeah, the thing is that Nerchio, he's well versed in this style. He has been using Mutalisks in this matchup for aeons and aeons, and SaSe needs to deal with it correctly. He hasn't scouted out just yet, but he's going to force the engagement. All of those Roaches get trapped in against this. That's a big loss there for Nerchio. SaSe catches it all really well done.
Well, to be honest, SaSe could just move across the map and win. That's a lot of Roaches that were just lost there. Considering the third base was killed as well, SaSe, in terms of units lost time, we can see that Nerchio's just lost too much here. If he brings a pylon and just continues to blink warp in Stalkers and blink well, he already has these upgrades that are coming down. Even though he's taking a third base, SaSe probably can just go and maybe win here.
And even if he does push in and doesn't get the killing blow here, right now, then that Mothership Core is on the way. It's got a lot of NG, could recall along with this, but Blink really, really helping out. Guardian Shield goes down as well, soaking up a lot of damage from those Roaches. There's no ranged upgrades, so they are being whittled down quite considerably here in comparison to how much damage they're actually doing to this Protoss force. And he's breached this location again. Doesn't have that many force fields, though.
Oh, so he's going to target the hatchery and then recall here. He's not looking to fight. Is he going to get it? He should be.
He is going to get it, and he needs to recall out. There you go. This is exactly what we were talking about before. But now Nerchio, in terms of army supply, 72 to 50. She's going to try and put on the counter aggression.
Perfect play here from SaSe. Really, really nice. His Immortals are coming out. He's got a bit of gas available. Sentries would be nice here because as long as he has crowd control, he's able to cut these roaches up. He's in perfect shape here. He only has about 2 sentries, so not the highest amount of force fields here. But I think he'll want to increase that shortly.
His gateways litter the field here for SaSe as well, trying to narrow off choke points, especially at this third location. He does have a few force fields, so moving up that ramp for Nerchio would have been a little bit unstable. And choking off this position is also quite nice. All SaSe has to do is sit around and wait, and not take great amounts of damage and be fine.
Oh, he's actually perfect at the moment. He's in such a good position because he's warped in an extra sentry. He's got 3 now. Ideally, I'd probably want a few more if I was SaSe, but he just defends, as you say. Add Immortals into this, and then with those 2 upgrades complete or before, go. And he's in really, really good shape.
Nerchio's trying to go into that tech switch. He's trying to get those Mutalisks out, but still, there's so many Stalkers already.
Yeah, and upgrades too. So it's not like in the previous games yesterday, it was like, oh, he doesn't have Stargates, It doesn't really matter here because there's so many Stalkers, great upgrades.
+3, +2, they're just not going to die whilst every Mutalisk is going to be evaporated.
And SaSe's moving up here again. Can recall. Imagine if he... imagine if the Mothership core got sniped or something, and then the roaches came in. Could be in a bit of trouble before those upgrades do complete. But once those upgrades complete, it's an amazing army, actually, that SaSe has. Great size, great value, great upgrades.
Yeah, Mute is moving around to the right-hand side here, trying to find a way into the main, and should be able to actually find that, because there's not actually main cannons going down. There's 1 or 2, but I'm assuming they're going down at the 3rd here. The main completely vulnerable, so we'll get quite a few workers. How many is he going to get? He's already got 14 total kills here. And we'll get even more. So 20 kills right now. Blink Stalkers being blocked by warping in Stalkers. Unfortunately for them. Nerchio gets the damage he wants. 22 workers.
And I think how this is... I mean, Nerchio's got a decent supply. Look at it. 170s. He's expanded well. He's played really well to get back into this game, considering he lost the 3rd hatchery a couple of times here. SaSe is really relying on just having a great army. The upgrades for SaSe, I don't think... I mean, for Nerchio... aren't that great at this point. I mean, what has he got on ground upgrades? Just +1 carapace alone, so not that good at all. +3 is about to finish with +2 armor.
Those upgrades are just getting out of hand. That's actually SaSe's route to just obliterating this game if Nerchio isn't careful. He's trying to get the air carapace. There's 121 army supply to 101 in favor of Nerchio right now, but these Stalkers, they're going to go for the engagement, and they're just not going to die for a long time. Zergling's trying to filter through this small hole that SaSe's actually created, but still, the Mutalisks trying to go for the counter. I think this is all Nerchio can do right now.
This is going to be interesting. I don't know how SaSe's going to play this out. Clearly, he's going to win the fight at the front door, but how is he going to deal with the Mutalisk if all the money's gone down? I guess what he'll do is just clean up everything Nerchio's got to prevent Nerchio from building anything, and then send half of his army back, or the right amount to deal with the Mutalisks.
That's just so many Stalkers here. Unit counting station, 27 Mutalisks against 44 Stalkers, with the upgrades heavily in favor for SaSe right now. Yeah. As long as he keeps probes on the field and doesn't lose all his buildings in some weird catastrophic way, then he is looking very good here. Even the Stalkers pushing away them from the 3rd.
Yeah, so SaSe's picked off all the hatcheries. All he needs to do is come back to defend his 3rd base now with just a handful of Stalkers. Those Stalkers will probably be fine. Pick up that hatchery, come back defend. And as long as Nerchio doesn't kill the 3rd base or kill that area where there's a couple of cannons and Stalkers, he's going to be able to win this game, I feel.
And one smart thing Nerchio did whilst he was moving across the map was killing off that Mothership, because if recall had been there, this would make it so much easier here for SaSe to just pick up, defend with just a few whilst killing off buildings at the other side. But Nerchio now, army supply 49 to 95. With SaSe leading with, again, just in every single way.
I mean, SaSe's going to win the base race, right? Because there's Blink Stalkers, and he's picked off almost all the structures. There's 3 drones around that are trying to plant something. He's been revealed now, so SaSe knows where all his structures are, and he's going to hunt everything down.
He tries to throw in a hatchery in the middle of the map as well, whilst these Mutalisks try and do the damage. Admittedly, they cut off a few of these Stalkers at the back, but those numbers are going to dwindle very quickly. 20 Mutalisks here, slowly but surely die off. GG for game number 1. SaSe takes it. Now Nerchio defeat here in the Premier League.
1 game away from being 0-4. It's not looking too good for Nerchio. He's going to have to step it up in this next game as SaSe prepares himself. Just having a quick drink. SaSe, though, pretty good game from him. I mean, great recalls consistently, great movement out, great micro, great upgrades. Really, the upgrades were fantastic in this game. As you said, double forge. If you can get away with it, good for you.
Yeah, it's funny. We kind of called that game in its entirety before it even occurred in terms of SaSe's recall abilities, the fact that Nerchio does love his Spire play, so there is certainly a predictability factor here to these players, but SaSe just, it's so solid with the recall, and he's using it better than almost every other Protoss out there right now, that it's so hard to deal with.
Really, really difficult to deal with, actually. I mean, trying to think of things you could do to deal with it, and it's not too much, is there?
Well, I was actually talking to Nerchio about it again before the broadcast, and he was saying that there's just not that many anti-air options early on to deal with that kind of play. If you try and get to Hydralisks and try and snipe out a Mothership Core or something like that, it's difficult. Any kind of Spire play comes very, very late as well, so you're kind of restricted in how you can combat the ability that is recall.
Yeah, well, welcome to the StarCraft World Championship Series here, the Europe Premier League, as Nerchio fights for his life in Premier League. If he loses this, he's going down to Challenger League, a place where I don't think he really wants to be. SaSe, though, is actually ill. As you can see, his nose is red. He's not Rudolph. He is just a little bit sick. A little bit like me. A little bit like me. Though I've actually cleared up a little bit in my nose now. I can breathe.
Good.
Finally.
Good.
Thanks to Red Eye giving me some little things.
Red Eye's got all the medicine.
Red Eye's got a lot of medicine.
Yeah.
So the first game today, I couldn't actually talk, and it was really difficult.
Got you covered, man. Got you covered.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Game number 2 here. Nerchio versus SaSe, as we have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner as our red Zerg. Once again, one game away from utter defeat here in the Premier League. Give it up for Ace Nerchio. Spawning down in the bottom right-hand corner as our blue Protoss. Here representing Fnatic, representing Sweden. Give it up for SaSe.
Let's see what SaSe can do here. Any stats I should be aware of? Anything between these two guys that we don't already know?
Well, other than the fact that currently the map score against these players is actually in favor of Nerchio. Aside from the past map, actually, no,
is that including Wings of Liberty?
That includes Wings of Liberty.
Yeah.
So Nerchio was very, very strong there, had a good performance, a very strong performance against Protoss. So it was, in total, before the previous map, it was 6-3 in favor of Nerchio. Now, obviously, 6-4. But aside from that, SaSe, currently in Heart of the Swarm, 24 map wins to 12 map losses against Zergs. So good 66% win ratio there. Very, very strong right now.
Yeah, SaSe's been doing pretty well in Heart of the Swarm, I'd say. I think in the Taiwanese league, he plays for Gamma Bears, I think it is.
Yes.
And his record's pretty good, like 9-2 or something, 9 wins, 2 losses, or somewhere along the line of that kind of record. So nice results when he was playing there, but now he's back in Europe for WCS. Haven't seen too much of him in Heart of the Swarm so far. Did play at DreamHack. Got knocked out in the round of 16 versus Hyun.
Yeah.
Fantastic player. But, I mean, Hyun is a different level here, I think, than Nerchio. At least the Nerchio's bringing today.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because for the longest time now, Nerchio and Hyun were the two people who battled it out in the European scene against one another in terms of weekly cups. Both of them absolutely fanatical about that kind of play, but nowadays, Nerchio here looking a little shaky. Would like to see him rise to the heights that he previously had, but he's got a tough challenge ahead of him in the form of SaSe here on Newkirk Precinct.
And then MVP.
Yeah.
Just gets on harder.
Yep.
All right, well, at least Nerchio's going to be able to get a good scout here, and with the Overlords, we'll spot the double gases and so on. And it's all actually one of the great strengths of Gateway expanding is the double zealot mothership core play. Really annoying, actually. To deal with. You often lose the queen. I think almost all the games I've seen so far in WCS, you lose the queen.
It's hard to retain it unless you, unless you for somehow, some way can negate a lot of the zealot damage. But even then, you're having to run away from zealots whilst the mothership core is right above you, pounding away at you. It's really, really difficult to deal with, and SaSe makes it work in spades. He's already moving out.
Yeah, especially because all the Zerg players keep on getting 2 to 4 lings early. At this point, against Protoss players who go Gateway Expand, I think we'll see more Zerg players just stop building only 4 and just go to 8 or something.
Yeah.
Because if they deal with the Zealots really fast when they come across, the Queens will be able to pick off the Mothership Core fine. It's just the difficulty of dealing with both at the same time.
You're right, one Queen does end up beating a Mothership, I believe. There was actually kind of weird things. If you inject, but the Mothership Core like starts engaging the Queen as the inject goes down, then the Mothership Core wins. It's kind of a very, very tight spot there, but still very, very important as Nerchio fended off the first Zealot pretty well, and SaSe's going to pull on back for now.
Yeah, I mean, we actually saw 2 extra Zerglings added, so a total of 5. 1 was killed before, and that's kind of the perfect number to deal with this. Not too many, not too little. SaSe just going to follow up this with a Forge and a Gateway. Forge inside the main base.
Like it a lot.
Yeah, hide that Forge. Could do something quite aggressive. Could definitely do something quite aggressive here if he was to go for +1 attack nice and early, but you know, it could be just over for the kind of fast +2s we saw in the last game.
Won't be surprised in the slightest if we saw him once again move out, try and get that Mothership Core into a position where it can recall a good amount of units and then try and snipe out another base. I mean, it's worked out for him fantastically thus far. They're going to see the force. No, drops the force field. So
yeah, definitely worth it to drop that force field there. Bit of energy that will easily regenerate here and hide that Forge, hide that +1. 3 gateways been added on now. It's a total of 4 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he makes it look very kind of as if there's...
It's not worth it to double force field, I don't think, there.
And they do see the Forge in the end. Sees the 4 gateways and another Nexus. Oh, no, this is actually the Structures tab. What am I on? I was like, whoa, he's making another Nexus? That's insane. But
yeah, that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
+1 carapace down for Nerchio. Will want to get a Roach one. You kind of need a Roach one, especially upon seeing that +1 being researched. Without the Roach one, it's a very scary thing. But he has got 12 Zerglings being made, 14 Zerglings being made.
I think he's anticipating his opponent once again moving out with like a Sentry Zealot composition like he did that previous game, and then trying to do some damage, but he's setting himself up good here.
I think SaSe might have just saw the Zerglings briefly there. And he pulled back the Sentry so to prevent them from running in. Quite a few Lings though here. A lot of Zerglings.
I kind of like the third positioning from Nerchio. I'm glad he didn't take that pocket expansion next to him because that is easy to force field off. Once that net hatchery's gone down, you can easily place the force fields there to deal with that, and it will be easier for SaSe to snipe out if he were to use the same tactic in game number 1.
Nice attempt there by Nerchio to run by. Failed though, unfortunately. +2, and Blink will be starting very shortly here. And a bit of a movement out.
That's a lot of Zerglings. He has to throw down force fields. +1 is not done.
Well, +1's done for SaSe, but not for Nerchio.
Yeah, just finished up. So now Nerchio, if he'd have taken that engagement and got the good surround, then it would have been pretty good for him for just a second before that kicked in. But
30 extra Zerglings here.
Whoa.
It's a very high amount of Zerglings that he has. I think he's expecting a big 2-base push.
Yeah.
Like a proper big 2-base push here. But it's not actually that. And the Mothership Core here is going to be able to recall. I think SaSe is in good shape. That's a lot of Zerglings. Just force field, then recall.
That's some perfect force fields there. Look at how pocketed in the sentries are against those Zealots. Wow, what a great move. Despite forcing out all of those force fields, look at that. Units lost 1,200 minerals to 450. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, really, really impressive. And now SaSe will fall back and take a 3rd base. Actually 4 gateways in total added on. No, he's not.
On a 5th.
Wow, okay. So what he's going to do now, he's just going to go for it. So he's slowed his opponent down here, and then he's just going to follow it with a +2 blink play? Wow.
And this is the Ling Hydra that I was talking about before that he does indeed favor as well. So he's going to try and stifle it with this. But that's a good position with those Zerglings there, getting really good surface area on this gateway army and forcing some more force fields out. But still, army tab, 30 supply to 20 in favor of SaSe.
Yeah, and SaSe is down to 45 probes and not building more, so he's absolutely going for this.
Yeah.
+2 and Blink Hydras are on the way. 76 supply. Only 76, but 79 here for SaSe. Ooh, this is going to be incredibly close here. Blink +2. Hydras only have the +1 carapace here, remember.
Imagine this push out from SaSe if SaSe hadn't have killed off that many Zerglings as he did at the very beginning with that little poke out with the Zealots and Sentries. Yeah. This amount of Zerglings that he would have had retained would have been so good against this Blink play, but now it's going to be shaky. SaSe's evening up that supply count.
He's got double time warp, if I'm not mistaken, by now too, so this is really, really good. Just about double time warp, almost. And SaSe is coming looking to move on to the next level of this tournament, next level facing MVP. Nerchio's tournament life is on the line here if he can't defend against this attack. And
he's slowly but surely carving himself a good position near this third base. He probably will be able to pick that off. The Spines and Hydralisks are amassing on that 2 base though here for Nerchio. Zergling's trying to put on the counterattack. Actually going to supply block here, SaSe. So not too bad. Getting another pylon as well. He's going to have to add a lot of pylons and he's going to be down.
That's actually really good for Nerchio to slow his opponent down as long as he doesn't get supply capped himself and keeps up his overall production. He's going to lose this third base. That's a given. But does he just die to this? It's still 103 supply to 104.
He doesn't want to waste any units here. He absolutely doesn't. The Blink is in play here. Those Zerglings, despite a lot of them being there, Blink play is going to be fantastic to actually keep them alive. There's not that many Hydralisks. Time Warps go down as well. The Blink play, in terms of actually moving on forwards here with the Stalkers, is going to continue in an offensive fashion. And he engaged without his Spines. He didn't have that backup.
Yeah, it's quite a few Stalkers. Quite a few. As everything gets cancelled over there for Nerchio, as he knows it's just going to die anyway. It's a waste of money, waste of everything. SaSe, 2 more sentries, 115 supply, +2, loses the Mothership Core. Can't believe that was up there.
Yeah, he's going to just move up this ramp once again. If he can blink back Stalker after Stalker, he's going to get in a very, very effective trade indeed. He's forcing the position of these Hydralisks to make sure that he actually can't move on back. Offensive blink up as well. SaSe feels confident. He feels as if he's going to take this game as the Hydras get completely decimated. As to the Spine Crawlers, the Stalkers march on into the natural, killing off unit after unit. And Nerchio now is down and out. His third got killed off by 1 Zealot. And the second is all but gone. GG!
Good luck versus MVP. SaSe beats out Nerchio 2-0 and will move on to play MVP.
We were worried it was going to be another 2-0 and Nerchio here not able to stand up to that SaSe. SaSe's PVZ is looking very strong here in Heart of the Swarm. He has utilized the new units very, very well with the new dynamics.
SaSe is absolutely thinking about MVP now. It's going to be a very, very good game. Very good game between SaSe and MVP. I don't know who's going to win. It's that close, guys.
It's that close. You're right. So now, that means we have our final series on the way very soon. Our crowd here giving SaSe some support.
Despite being ill, I was having a big stretch there and I got put on camera. But despite it being ill, SaSe is doing really well for himself. And it is actually rather difficult to play when ill because your eyes get sore, you're sniffing all the time.
Yeah.
So it's actually doing really well for himself. But this is going to be a tall task ahead of him.
It's like being ill when you're casting. You're a trooper, Apollo.
Oh, thanks, Clovis.
You're a trooper. All right, so I believe we are now going to pass it over for an interview with Mr. Redeye and our winner, good old SaSe.
Thanks, guys. We're with SaSe right now, winner of our, well, it's the knockout game. It's the 2 losing matches from the first round. So lose this one, and that's it. You're down in Challenger League, which is exactly where Nerchio is. Congratulations, SaSe. Fantastic couple of games. I know you're feeling under the weather. You've got a blocked ear, which is why I'm standing the other side so that you can actually hear me. How difficult is it playing when you're not feeling great like you are and you've just had a long flight and things just aren't going right for you? Did that play any part in the first match that you had?
It's affecting all of my games, so, but I just try my best. That's all I can do. I have to make the best of the situation.
Okay, and then in this match against Nerchio, you actually looked very good, very strong. PVC seemed to be, spot on. Talk us through them.
I don't know. I think he tried to blind counter me, and he got a little bit unlucky in the first game, losing more Zerglings than he should have. Second game, I made a 3rd pylon in my base because I thought he would do something again, but I think he was just not prepared for my strategies.
Okay, that's very sporting of you. You go up against MVP now in the deciding match. It's win this one, you're in the round of 8, so it's a huge game, massive match. Can you beat MVP this time around?
I can beat everyone in the world, else I wouldn't play this game, I think.
So, anything that you want to say in terms of the way that you're affected by your cold? Is it? I mean, I guess what I'm saying is it's you don't want to make excuses if you lose that you've had a cold and you're not feeling well, but it has to be playing its part, right?
I think you don't have to worry about me. You should worry about yourself so you don't get a cold.
Okay, well, that's very considerate of you. SaSe, ladies and gentlemen, is through to the deciding match against MVP. Here's some analysis breakdown.
Hello. I kind of put myself in this position by coming up here again. I should have just let you do it. So, how are you?
I'm scared of you.
Scared of me? The crowd is chanting a song. If you can't hear, I think you can. We're going to be looking at this next game in a couple of seconds' time. I'm going to try and keep my hands off MC. So, what do you think that SaSe did right in that game? Everything.
SaSe used Mass Stalker. Mass Stalkers.
Stalkers are easy to build and they're pretty imber.
No.
No?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, Mothership Core, really imber.
No.
Yeah, really imber. Look. See? Watch this. Watch this. So imbalanced.
Good.
So
No.
many.
Good micro. Good
Good
post
micro?
speed. Yeah. Very good post speed.
Okay force fields.
Yeah. Very good post speed.
Not the best. Your force field. That's imber.
Why? He used very good timing. Yeah. And just Nerchio.
And then Stalker's imber.
No.
No?
Hey, Protoss not Imba. Are you seriously? All the tournament Zerg is champion. GSL 4 times Zerg champions. And DreamHack, MLG.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. But Nerchio told me that Zerg is underpowered.
No.
He told me. Nerchio told me. He said Zerg really, really underpowered.
No.
Zerg OP?
Rife destroy me in MLG and Linux destroy all Protoss in DreamHack. So,
Don't complain, Zerg players.
Korean Zerg Imba, okay.
Oh, okay, Korean Zerg imber. So, what went wrong for Nerchio? How did he
think-
lose this?
I think juggling Hydra Risk is weak against Blink Stalker because no tank.
Yes.
Yeah, so
like,
he need the
yeah.
Roach.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think he chose juggling Imposter or Roach Hydra Risk is best, but he didn't make a lot of drones. He has just 47 drones, so he can't make Roach because Roach is very expensive. So, I think SaSe choice gateway expansion and push is very good timing and yeah.
SaSe the better player
yeah,
here.
SaSe's better play.
Better player today. All right, so it's kind of straightforward game here, to be honest. It was just the, as you said, gateway expand into Mothership Core timing into finishing move, and that was it for SaSe. But moving on to the next game, because I actually like your predictions. SaSe versus MVP. What do you think?
I think MVP win.
Really, 2-0, 2-1.
Maybe 2-0.
Will MVP use same style? You think?
I
Maybe
don't
no?
think so, but
Yeah.
I tried SaSe build a lot, so maybe MVP lose. I go kill him, or he gonna suicide.
So, has MVP... He knows SaSe, right? He knows
Yeah.
who SaSe is. Does he know how SaSe plays? Like, all styles? Because
Yeah.
SaSe knows a lot of different style. So, you think just easy win again?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, you heard it here. All right, passing it over to you, Red Eye. Take it away.
Thanks very much. We're going to check in with the Hubner right now for some social media updates. He's even managed to get himself... He's even managed to get himself his own poll on Team Liquid. I've been waiting like 5 years to do that, and somehow this man's got a poll. It's probably for the wrong reasons, though. Anyway, Hubner, what is love?
Don't hurt me. You hear the crowd. They know it.
Okay, so what's going on in social media?
Actually, I've been getting a lot of feedback about myself. So, I'm actually understanding that people expect me to read social media here. And I've not quite been doing that. I didn't know that I was like paid to do that because I'm not being paid, you know, whatever. So I'm actually gonna try to get into that like tomorrow maybe, and try and do that.
Well, that'd be good because, you know, like it's the third day and you've only just figured out that your job's actually to check social media.
No one told me. No one told me.
Is this Carmack's fault? Or?
I think it is. I think it probably is.
Okay, more shots fired at the social media desk. We'll take a very quick break, and when we come back, this man will be fired and we'll be on for our deciding game of the World Championship Series Europe Premier League.